What powerful images and what a powerful window into the world. The woman you just saw is clearly poor, but she's also vulnerable. She walks 11 miles every day for water, even further when there's no rainfall. When food prices rise or there's a crop failure, her life and the life of her family is literally threatened. We wanted to start this day by bringing her with us into this forum because helping her and hundreds of millions of poor and vulnerable people around the globe is what this day is about. And so it's my great pleasure to welcome you to the first annual Rockefeller Foundation Innovation Forum. One of the foundation's grantees once said, "You cannot solve a problem at the same level of consciousness that created it. You must look at the world anew." That grantee was Albert Einstein, and his deeply insightful words are why we've invited you to join us here today, to shift our consciousness and our awareness of these challenges to a different level of thinking, to change the way we see and therefore address some of the world's most pressing problems. What we're doing here is unprecedented, historic, and certainly a radical departure from our past. And yet the purpose and the spirit of this forum are entirely consistent with our century-long tradition of seeking and supporting innovation. Innovation is deeply woven into our DNA. Over the course of the 20th century, our predecessors led the first public health campaign, in that instance to eradicate hookworm in the South, and in doing so, literally created the field of public health. In medicine, Rockefeller Foundation scientists developed a Nobel Prize-winning vaccine for yellow fever. What is now known as the Green Revolution, which saved 1 billion lives in Asia, started with the innovative work of Rockefeller agricultural scientists who bred new varieties of high-yielding rice and wheat during the 1960s, first in Mexico and then in India and Pakistan and Bangladesh. The foundation's efforts also greatly accelerated the widespread adoption of digital computing technology through our early support of that team at MIT. We helped launch the field of artificial intelligence when grantee John McCarthy first coined the phrase in submitting his proposal to the foundation. And some 50 years ago, the foundation helped to create the discipline of urban design and theory when it supported young author, activist, and urbanist Jane Jacobs to write The Death and Life of Great American Cities. We continue to build on this historic legacy. Today, Rockefeller is helping vulnerable urban communities build resilience to cope with climate change. We're laying the foundation for a mobile healthcare revolution in sub-Saharan Africa and Asia. We're creating infrastructure to accelerate the entry of innovative models of private financing to address pressing development challenges the world over. We do this, as our predecessors did, by fostering and supporting innovation, by mobilizing attention and resources towards a problem, and by relentlessly seeking impact. But in this, our open source age, an age of networked machines and markets and lives, we hope to innovate even further by opening our process to the powerful social network in this room and to those participating on the internet throughout the world. We cannot think of a better way to celebrate the Foundation's historic achievements on this, the eve of our centennial, than to evolve our efforts to advance innovation by your participation. To that end, we've assembled this extraordinary gathering of luminaries across industries and sectors and borders, and over the course of the afternoon, we will ask you to step back and think anew, to identify the critical and potentially solvable sources of 3 deep crises, and by reframing the problems, guide the Rockefeller Foundation's support for solutions. Your participation today will help us launch a year of innovative programming in 3 areas that are essential to the future prosperity, indeed maybe the very survival of some of the world's poorest and most vulnerable people. Thus, the construction of this forum itself represents an innovation process, and we believe this process can lead to critical breakthroughs. In taking this course, we ask you to join us in 100 years of history of the Rockefeller Foundation's legacy of fostering innovation, and to become part of that legacy. Perhaps all of this begs an important question: exactly what do we mean by innovation? I have no doubt that innovation is probably one of the most overused and least understood terms in our modern vernacular. In fact, LinkedIn, the professional social networking site, recently compiled a list of the 10 buzzwords that dominate the profiles of its users. Innovative was number 2 on the list, falling behind the number 1 most widely used phrase, extensive experience. So innovation is clearly on people's minds, but probably the definition is not. So as a former university president, I like the fact that our colleagues actually combed and aggregated the academic literature. And the definition from that literature suggests that innovation is a new product, process, or service that is discontinuous from previous practice, that yields new avenues, new directions for solving problems or for fulfilling an organization's mission. And in the social realm, the literature suggests that the innovations that best speed up society's ability to address pressing needs are often recombinant. That is, they are a hybridization of existing elements that are combined in new ways that leave stronger solutions in their wake. Now, what does that definition really mean? First and foremost, it means that innovation is not the same thing as invention. Mark Zuckerberg didn't invent the internet, but Facebook is clearly a service innovation that has revolutionized our digital lives by allowing social networks to proliferate. Apple didn't invent touchscreen technology or mobile communication devices, but the iPhone and the iPad are examples of recombinant product innovations that took existing elements and reassembled them in unprecedented ways to create entirely new product categories. And Walmart didn't invent retail or even the big box store, but it developed the process innovations that resulted in their revolutionizing the retail industry. At the Rockefeller Foundation, we're pursuing similar product, process, and service innovations in the social realm. We didn't invent microcredit. That honor goes to one of our distinguished participants in this forum, Mohammed Yunus. But we're now pairing microfinance with weather-induced microinsurance for farmers in sub-Saharan Africa. The microcredit allows the farmers to purchase seeds and fertilizer, small pieces of equipment to become economically self-sufficient. But the weather-indexed microinsurance protects their investments against the impact of erratic weather and temperatures that result from climate change. And so it makes them more willing to plant again, even after a terrible growing season. This is a product innovation that we hope will accelerate agricultural and economic development across the region. We didn't invest impact investing, an emerging field of finance in which for-profit investments provide capital to companies working to address social, health, and environmental challenges at scale. But we have helped to build the Global Impact Investing Network, creating shared platforms to accelerate this growing industry. Our grantees are also developing a new global reporting standard for measuring social impact, making the social due diligence easier, and also creating a new company to provide objective third-party ratings of the social impact of the investments. This represents an organizational innovation, helping to unleash private capital to solve social problems. And no, we certainly didn't invent the global conference, but we think this innovation forum is a wonderful experiment, a process innovation, as I said, in and of itself, which we hope will lead to new interventions that save and potentially impact countless lives around the world. So we've tried to pick a space that feels different from your traditional conference. I hope it does. And we've tried to pick a way to really engage you in thinking with us to reframe problems towards new solutions. In this inaugural forum, we will focus on outcomes. We'll begin with an expert panel discussion to get our thinking into high gear. And then this will be followed by the meat of the conference, breakout sessions on 3 pressing global issues of key importance to our work: water insecurity, food insecurity, and urban economic insecurity. This is where we're going to count on your unique expertise, your unique perspectives, and your flexibility of mind and creativity. following the breakouts, we'll discuss and compile together the threads which emerge from the problems you frame, the ideas you propose. A deeper analysis of your work will be conducted in the following weeks, and an Innovation Forum report sent to you and posted on our website. This report then becomes the basis for a year-long round of grant making tackling the problems you've identified. For some, we'll issue large, global, open challenges, giving many, many $100,000 awards to support the best and most innovative solutions. For other problems, those that need it will explore and develop them a bit further before funding work on solutions. And in certain instances, we will invite other funders to take them up. We also intend to leverage social media to achieve impact. And next year at this time, we'll reconvene to assess progress and develop a new round of problems to solve. This cycle of experimentation and innovation will go on for the next 3 years as part of our centennial celebration. And in truth, we believe it must, because in this age of globalization, the one thing we can count on is that the problems we face will continue to shift, and new problems will continue to emerge. Today, the challenges confronting humanity are not only imposing and complex, they are also evolving, and that's what makes this so difficult. Food insecurity is exacerbated by shifting weather patterns, the search for alternative energy solutions, and rapidly changing global market dynamics. Mutating bacteria and viruses develop resistance to vaccines more quickly because they race through populations around the world. City infrastructure becomes overwhelmed by unprecedented urban migration. To face these challenges, we must innovate with speed and determination, with new tools and techniques and technologies. And most importantly, we must increasingly innovate together. Malcolm Gladwell wrote, "Innovation, the heart of the knowledge economy, is fundamentally social." A simple statement, but an important insight. And this is one that we will put in practice today. And so, to begin that effort, I'd like to invite our distinguished panel to the stage. Please give a warm welcome to our moderator, NBC News Chief Foreign Affairs Correspondent, Andrea Mitchell, who will introduce the panelists. Thank you again for being here.